Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Dearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. It is indeed a brand new day. Today is our room inspections, which is, if you rent, you have to have, you don't have to, but written into our lease is there are quarterly inspections. Now, right now, they're only coming in and doing infrastructure checks to make sure nothing's leaking, everything's working, that things are okay. I don't know if ever later on there will be like a check on more than that. I can't imagine so, because I've mentioned before, it's a bunch of grumpy old men who are set in their ways. Old being one of the things, it's hard to do cleaning and proper things for a lot of people when you can't move. So I can't imagine they do much more than infrastructure and basic, make sure the places are clean. No, just, filth everywhere. So, thumbs up for that. After all, they say, no bird feeders or anything here because they don't want rodents. Because once you get rodents, they're almost impossible to get rid of. So, no bird feeders, nothing like that. So, we're taking it serious. So, thumbs up on that. But it's thrown my schedule off. It is 8:52 and noon is when it starts until it's done, so yay. But it's just gonna go apartment to apartment to apartment, cottage to cottage. Thumbs up for that. But I wanted to talk about a few things. One of them was, I've talked about a lot about the caretakers everywhere at the end of time. A 6.5 hour long audio presentation of the descent into dementia. Now, it has been talked about how there's only 6 stages in this collection, but there's actually 7 stages of dementia. But if you consider the Caretaker's previous album as part of it, then there's the 7 stages. But it's good stuff and devastating. And one of the theories that's been kind of backed up is the person who did this music had originally started off as a fan project for The Shining, and then it became about memory. But the caretaker, the theory goes, and is apparently backed up by the person who does it, because they never produced anything under that name again, is not only is it a descent into dementia, and the last stage of dementia is death. And since he never did anything under the name of the caretaker again, it's the caretaker's fall into dementia and then death. So joy on that. But one of the things I've been noticing of late, it's been popping up. I mean, this is old music, and a lot of these things and reactions are old, years and years and years ago. Finally showing up in like my feed, this one fellow, inspired by the Caretaker's 6.5 hour long thing, decided to do their own version, where they did all 7 stages plus the epilogue of death. 9.5 hours long. I skimmed through it to make sure it was actually an album. Yeah, it's not a joke. It's 9.5 hours of, again, the audio descent into dementia and then death. Oof. How about that? So thumbs up. On that note, which is not that note at all, but I have had at least one request to continue doing Fabled Lands. So I'm hopefully going to be continuing Fabled Lands here soon. And I had been asked, since I talked about Rambly Raccoon, I had been asked if I could play the Unique Geese game Indigo Park. It's free. I'd added it to my account before, but last night, finally got it downloaded, decided to try it. I've mentioned before how my laptop is old and it struggles under a lot of things. I cannot play Indigo Park. It takes about 10 minutes to load. And I'm never sure if it's actually loading, but it did. And it is a slideshow. Like one frame every couple seconds. I just had to delete it. It is unplayable. Because it's all so laggy on my old machine, I can't even get into things like the options, because it's all so terrible at reading both the controller or the mouse. I just had to kill it and then uninstall it. Until and unless, well, it's until, since again, October 2025, end of life for Windows 10. I won't dare go online with that thing afterward. No more security updates, and every single vulnerability found after that is going to just become part of the base attack for everything from that point onward. So you don't dare. They're still great to use, just don't go online. I mean, I can still copy things, from whatever machine I happen to have, or off my tablet. If I can download stuff from my tablet onto the tablet and then transfer it from the tablet to the computer, then I'd be able to do it that way. But yeah, otherwise unless I turn it into a Linux machine, which even then stated, because so much of my stuff, so much money that I've sank into like the Steam stuff, and so much stuff I've invested time and effort in, like Wondershare Filmora. So I gotta work on that. Yay. Which is fine. I also wanted to talk about this, because I wanted to read the back of this. I mean, this looks goofy. This Mike Lambo book, Spiders from Outer Space. Looks kind of silly, doesn't it? There's a picture of spiders on the front, and it's Spiders from Outer Space. But it's not just silly if you read the back. Out of nowhere, an alien spaceship appears over New York, with no communication forthcoming, despite numerous attempts by Earth's various space agencies. There seems no option but to board the alien craft and investigate. The first such mission resulted in the discovery of a race of spider-like alien creatures. Pictures were sent back to Earth before all involved in the boarding mission were brutally killed by the spiders. The people of Earth have now put together a team of crack soldiers to board the alien craft. This time, they will be tasked to eradicate any spiders they come across and to complete special mission objectives. The team shall be called the Spider Squad. Okay, up until the end, it's doing pretty good. But this is the one that's got like 25 pages or so. 24 pages of rules and instructions on how to do this. Whereas the earlier books, there were like 4 or 5 pages of rules and instructions, and a lot of those were graphs on showing you how to do the things they were telling you about. Now it's 24 pages. But it's not bad. I mean, it's good stuff, so thumbs up on that. But I just wanted to mention that. So yeah, my routine has been totally thrown out of whack, and I am thoroughly confused, and not confused, but thoroughly discombobulated, because I want to do stuff, but at noon there's that thing happening. So I can't really get involved in any of the things I would normally get involved in doing, because I'm going to have to stop but whenever they show up so I can have a guy come in here and look around. So my schedule's all thrown off. I'm all just in discombobulation. I don't even know what to talk about, because I didn't do much yesterday. ADHD is terrible in that fashion, especially when you have executive function and dysfunction issues. I watched a lot of videos. The thing is, with my ADHD, of course, I can't just sit there and watch an entire 20-minute video all at once. I get like 5 minutes into it, and then I'm off onto another video. it might take me all day to finish watching that 20-minute video because I'm jumping around videos to videos. I used to have a book to read in every single room of the house that I walked around in. Now I do that with videos, except I'm sitting here in this chair and not going anywhere. Thumbs up on that. Oh, itchy. My apologies. One thing I am hopefully going to get done today is to go through my stack of physical games, since I've mentioned this, and I'm going to divide them in half. And I'm going to take, oh boy, that was difficult. Man, I was trying to talk and I couldn't. And as you saw, there was just a lot of nothing happening. And then every month, rotate one out with the other. So that way, it's less like work. That way, I don't feel the pressure of them staring at me. So I can actually get them played. There'll be one of the big problems that can happen with making a small problem huge is you take this tiny problem, and because you've been putting it off and such, it gets put up on a pedestal. And because it's up on a pedestal, it casts a bigger shadow. And because it casts a bigger shadow, it's sure a lot scarier. And so you avoid it even more, and it gets bigger and more frightening all the time until you're not even going to go near it anymore. But it's just a minor thing. But you can't. So, yay on that. So, instead of having the huge stack there staring at me menacingly, cut that in half and then go from there. And then, hopefully, start getting more of those things played for my own entertainment, plus I'll play them for the entertainment of people on the channel. Because I enjoy these things and I like sharing. That's one of the big things I like to do with my channel, is to share things that I enjoy. That's why I talk about the stuff that I talk about. Part of it is to get it out of my head, and part of it is just I want to share. Joy shared is joy multiplied, and misery shared is misery divided. So thumbs up for that. But past that, yeah, the only real thing I've got to talk about is something that I had been thinking of before. A couple years back, when I was really getting heavy and deep on my inside-outside razor's edge setting. Part of that is, since the outside is where we are, the inside is another universe entirely, and the razor's edge is that transit area between the two of them. It's not really a location, it's just where you're transferring between the two spots, but just like the beach is not a place, it's just that transit area between land and water, but we still go there and we put houses there. It's not really a place, but we treat it like one. The razor's edge is not really a place in that fashion, but it's treated like one, and people live there, and it is exciting and deadly and infinite. I can't even remember where I was going with that, but just talking about the various things that I've been thinking of. I think, once again, it's either dementia or the ADHD, which I've mentioned before. Even a couple of years back. Oh, I was talking about something about a couple of years back. Yes, about the razor's edge. And yes, going back and retracing my steps. Hopefully you didn't click off and stop watching. Breakfast toast. There is, on the inside, a being called the King in Crimson, who, sometime back, 1,118 years ago, founded the Crimson Kingdom. But there is a being that is what we would call vile, that lives in transitory spaces. And they have become a thorn in the King in Crimson's side, but they are an altering thing. And as I'd mentioned, if you have an open space or some open thread that you're not sure about, give it time and let it just cook and then come back to it. And I had that happen. This being that lives in transitory spaces, I figured they had spent their life, whenever they were detected, and it's something that's inevitable, they would pack up and run. But they've reached a point in their maturity, they're not running anymore. When they finally get caught again in the context of the stories, they get found out. But their attitude is, this is my home. I am not leaving. They are not going to force me out of here. I live here. And this getting a spine, setting their back up and saying, no, I will fight you for this, is a very positive aspect to this person. Now, being. I mean, that is a positive character growth. Negative for everybody else because they set up all these webs that go through 1,000 layers and they're trying to attract a certain type of person. And if you're that type of person that gets caught, you will end up going to the crossroads where their lair is and eventually walking through the door into their lair, at which point you're doomed. And boy, better that you had done something to save yourself from what's coming. Because Utokk, the being, does not hate people, does not love people, is very neutral, does not care, does not love, does not hate, does not like, does not dislike, does not care. I don't hate shrimp. People eat shrimp. I bet they don't eat shrimp either, but they eat them. And Utokk eats that certain kind of person, and they need them in a certain state, and they discovered through experimentation that the best mental state to be in, to be the most delicious, is in a state of total abject terror. And the best physical state to be in for the best taste and flavor and nutritional value is complete and total physical agony. So for a week that it takes you to die while you're being devoured, you are in complete and total terror and agony, simply because we taste better that way. No, for no other reason. But Utokk ends up, after discovery, being a thorn in the King in Crimson's side. After devouring any human being, they can build a body, but they're not alive in our terms, and the bodies that they make aren't alive either. In fact, they're just dead tissue that they can form with jellied, coagulated blood in their veins. Nothing works. They're dead, but everything is dead in their realm, so nothing rots. And they use one of these bodies with all of the various bits of tech and stuff that they've gathered over the various years to contact the King in Crimson, and through time, this character, Utokk, discovers a need for peer interaction. And so they begin interacting with the King in Crimson not just to bother them, but because it's fulfilling a need for them. And in time, they are going to mature even further and become less of a danger and threat to anybody. They'll never stop, they still have to eat, but right now, in the context of the stories, the character Utokk is a total sarcastic, meta-ironic douche canoe, and everything that they say can be read 4 and 5 different ways, all of them insulting, and they are just horrible on purpose. So, yeah, fun for everyone else. Luckily, Utokk does continue to grow. They never look upon us as anything more than just, food. Nothing to be hated or not hated, but just manipulated to be the best to eat, and then to chow. Best way to look at them is at the doorway in leading into their realm. Utokk could be kind of a spider with the legs just waiting to grab and wrap you up as you walk through into their realm. It's metaphysical wrapping until they grab you. But thumbs up for that. So yeah, I'm just going to do this, do that, do the other, and wait until it's time to get this all done, have them come in and do the inspection, and then tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment, further disruption, further disruption of all of my routine. Then the day after that, therapy, so I have no normal week. And again, if you have watched this far, breakfast toast in the comments, that would be very cool. Squishmallow, thumbs up for that. So, if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. Take me from a badly hurting monkey to just a hurting monkey, and that is appreciated to no end. Hokey smokes. So I'm going to keep on working, and thank you so very, very much. If you are a person who has left me a comment, each and every comment, except for the abusive ones, are appreciated. I don't get very many abusive ones. They're actually very, very rare, but they do happen. Those ones aren't appreciated, but the non-abusive ones are. I'm not hurt by the abusive ones. I just, gone, once I identify it as, oh, they're just being a douche canoe. And so their comment is gone. But if you're not, I'm looking at my label again, but if you're not that kind of person, thumbs up, and I appreciate those comments to no end. You don't have to even like what I'm saying or what I do. You can disagree with me violently. Just as long as you're not abusive, that's awesome. So thumbs up and thank you. I answer as many comments as my nerve compression will let me, and hopefully, whenever they contact me for my physical therapy, so I can get that started, and hopefully that'll help. Yay. Anyway though, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. So yeah, I hate having my schedule disrupted. It's rough sometimes being an autistic person. Life is life though. Life is life.